Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm glad you're here. Dephemerember, we are rocking and rolling. It is now the 15th. So, belly band and butterfly labels. I also realize I haven't really been talking much about my snacks. I did finish my violet crumble. See, it's gone. That was delicious. I loved it. Saving my packaging because we have something coming up for that. And I'm going to pull out this friend. So I'm going to open this package carefully because I think it'll be a great addition to a journal. So this is my amaretto biscuit flavored dark chocolate. So I'm excited for this one. That is a big bar. So that's going to tide me over for a bit here. So what are we doing today? We're going to do belly bands. We're going to do butterfly labels. So butterfly labels, I talked with my bestie and we were discussing butterfly labels a little bit because I wasn't quite sure. She wasn't quite sure. We thought, is this a specific type of label that perhaps either of us are unfamiliar with? And it turns out there is a type of label called a butterfly label. They're usually used for jewelry. At least that's the kind I could find. And they're used to like put a price tag on your jewelry, so it like wraps around. So part of it doesn't have sticky on it and part of it does. Obviously don't have any of those, which is fine. And I'm going to do stuff with my own labels. And then butterflies don't really fit my theme that I have been tasked with, which is goth, black. And so I'm gonna have to do my own thing. So we're going to have bats and we're going to have like crows and ravens instead of butterflies. So it's going to be what it's going to be. So I'm going to get that stuff together and have a couple bites of this chocolate, and then we're going to rock and roll. Labels. I have pulled out these. These are mailing labels. These are another kind of mailing label. These are clear mailing labels. These are mailing seals that can wrap around stuff if you wanted them to. And then these are some other little label things that I had. So we are going to, we're going to goth them up. We're going to make them super fun and interesting and decide how we're going to do some stuff. Now, since these are clear and they're a little plasticky, I'm not quite sure what's going to work on them. I pulled a couple different types of ink to see what is going to work best. And I'm going to kind of treat these. I think I had a video someplace. Maybe I've done a video on, I know I've done some mailing label stuff, but I kind of did like weird sticker clusters, I think, with them. So I guess I'm just going to start grabbing some stamps and adding some interest to these guys. I have some various label shapes that I'm going to put onto here too. So I have this big square one. I have this little one. And then I also have these kind of interesting, I like this little one with the bats here. So I might do that. And then there's one with spider webs. I might add that on in a couple spaces, where basically these are going to kind of turn into like kind of interesting mishmash kind of little masterboard situations. So I'm just going to start by taking a stamp and randomly putting it in a few places. So that's kind of what we're going to do. It's not going to work for all of them. Not every single one of these is going to be the best. So basically we're just going to start. Oh, these are, so this is my new stamps that I got for $1 at the Dollar Tree, because they were on clearance there when I was there the other day, so I haven't even used them yet. Oh, they at least are in the package well, that is for certain. And I'm going to use some StazOn. And I am going to use an ink block today, or stamping block. So let's see how this friend behaves since we have never used it before. And then I'm going to blot my stamps off onto some book guts, because then we can cut them out. So it's kind of like making two kinds of ephemera at the same time. So then you can get at least one kind of fainter image stamped on, or maybe you can use it to test your stamp. So I like to have something like that, some scrap paper or something handy, so that I can try out something as I go. All right, next, let's do, I like to do the big ones first, because then you can fill in around them with other little things. So let's see, what else is big? Let's do this little baddie up here. And I think, yes, I will do this one in black as well. I think mostly I'm going to do in black. I might be doing some highlights and some red with a few things too, just to kind of add some different color. So let's go. So the basic premise on this is you're just building up. So you're building up, you're kind of making a sticker master board, if you wanted to look at it kind of like that. And just keep adding some more things here and there that fit whatever theme you're going with too. Okay, that looks really cool. I love that. I'm probably going to do some more of those. These, amazing. These are so cool. I think these ones are done. Like, these are perfect. I love them. So that might be a thing I do again. Like, I might pull some more of these out for some of my images. But look at that. We already have a few little fun things rocking and rolling here. All right, next. Let's, one more little label one. Let's do that. And let's do it in red this time. So I have this little label shape here. I think this is my last label shape. Okay, what else? We need some little bats, I think. So we're going to fill in with some little bats here and there. I also have another little bird. We do have a few bigger spots yet, so maybe we can have a few little things in there. I think that is that. I think that everything looks really good. I think I'm happy with how it is. I'm gonna let these dry a minute, reset, so that we can start working on some belly bands. So I hope that this made sense, what I was doing. Basically, you're just filling in with stamps, like all of the space that you want to. Like, you wouldn't have to do it with like the little splatters, but I thought that was like the final touch to these that made it look really good, with like the hints of the little red. But you know, I have to stay true to my theme with that I was challenged with. So these ones might take, because these are on clear labels, so they might take a little bit longer to dry. And then these are the round ones. And then of course you get to see some of the baddies there. So I think these turned out really great. I'm really happy. So I'm gonna reset and then keep going. All right, so next up, I have pulled out, these are some master boards made from just book guts. And I'm going to use these for the bases of my belly bands. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add a little bit of color to them, because I know I'm going to layer some other things, but they're not matching our color very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of inking on some of them, and darken them up a little bit, and then we're gonna cut them down. So I think I've got some hickory smoke, and I might do some light stenciling really quick, and then use a few more distress inks, not oxides, but distress inks. And then we're gonna do some other layers and stuff too. So let me get a couple of different textures out that I think will work good for this. Because this is going pretty well, but now I'm gonna kind of dress these up a little bit, since I'm gonna make a stack of them. So let's see what is gonna work. I don't know. Feeling what's going to be the vibe for this. What's going to be the vibe? Maybe some cracked stone and brick wall. That might be kind of neat. I don't want to get too crazy. I just want to get them all similar, and then they're going to get layered with some other stuff here too. So do I like that cracked wall? Let's just do wall texture. I think that could be really fun. All right, so first off, let's hit them with a little ink here and there. Some of these have some texture on them, and maybe I'll just do this. This kind of is already starting to get them darkened up just a little bit. So that one's in gray. Now let's see. I'm gonna do this is more black. I don't know if this is gonna work, but we're gonna try it. I've never taken this off before, but I kind of want to, because I want to see if I can rub this on here, because this is the only like really black that I have. So we're gonna see what happens. Oh yeah, that's good. I like it. Ooh, yeah. Oh, I like it so much. Oh my goodness, because it's picking up all the edges. Okay, I love it. Okay, and then this one. maybe I will not stencil because this is already laying down a really good foundation and is darkening these up. I mean, remember what they look like at the beginning? You know what? I'm going to be okay with some variation. So that is fun to me. So that is great. So let's go ahead. I don't think I'm going to stencil on them yet. I might save that for next step because I'm thinking of doing a little bit of texture paste on these once I cut them down. Or maybe I'll do it now. But I don't want to, because I like to put texture paste over top of some of my other layers. So, all right, let's move these out of the way then. And let's chop these down really quick. Got the big guns out today. And I like to do these upside down because then I can't see what I'm doing. And let's see. Once we get a little bit chopped, let's see, let's just start at 8 so I can have some straight lines. Whoops. So 2 inches is usually pretty good for these guys. So that's what I'm gonna do. So 2-inch strips, maybe 2.5. I like 2.5. Let's go 2.5. And this friend, I actually want to have face up because I want to use this guy and this guy in a different one that I have a goal for later on. So that's 3. That's 2.5. That's 3. We got a lot here. So next step is putting down some stuff. I'm setting that one and that one off to the side because I'm going to use them on a different project. So they are going to go someplace else. So now we have a bunch of these. I'm going to mix them up so we don't have all the same colors in the same spots and textures. And I am going to turn some different ways. Just going to start laying out some variety, variation, things like that, because I'm going to get some scraps, other scraps on here to layer some things up. And may not use the stencils, but that's fine. Okay, so that's a lot, but we got what we got. All right, so I know that I want to use this on somebody. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just start putting a few things here and there that I think will be really cool. So I'm using up some of my scraps from Bestie still. And I think this would end up making a super cool belly band. This was some leftover from when I did the plastic. Oh my goodness. So I'm going to also add some of this here and there too, because more texture in our color theme as well. right, and then I have a couple other things that I wanted to pull out too, because this one I want to use on one of these as well, and it's going to go sideways. So I want to turn this one into part of a belly band. So I'm going to tear out part of this, and it's kind of going to become a focal point on one of these friends. But obviously it is too big. So some of these could go sideways. So let's find which one this is going to work on. I think I like it on this one, actually. And we're going to do some rearranging, but this is how I do a mass make when I'm doing a bunch of these at the same time, or compartmental making, or whatever you want to call it. And then we will keep going. So I've used a couple of scraps at least from Bestie, and now I'm going to pull out the lace that we used from before too. So that's going to be the next thing. So let me get to that. Oh, also I have this angel wing thing. So this is, let me get this out because I want to put this on a couple of these. So this is also left over from the other day. This is a mess right now, so I might have to. All right, we have these little friends. Let's find places for them, and then I'm probably gonna start crazy construction here. So this skull is gonna look fun someplace. That one's good. Let's put him here. That kind of goes with the color. This spider I might trim down a little bit. Let's go, you can go with this friend. These birds need to go somewhere. So I'm trying to make sure they each have like some other kind of texture, because I think that is kind of really interesting to add to things. This one, look, that looks good there. And then these guys are kind of more focal points, so we're going to put them on top when we get to that point. So next step is figuring out how we're going to layer them up quick, and I'm just going to, I might have to like shift a little and do that. So very carefully so I don't mess up the plan. Let's do you first since you're sideways. And I might try and find a couple other ones that are sideways, or that I have like set goals for. So I'm going to get these layers tacked down, and then I want to take them to the sewing machine because I always think that's really cool. So let's see what we can do. Like, how long is this first? Because these might be too tall. So these are 9 inches. So what I'm going to do is make sure that there's going to be an edge on these that doesn't, that can get trimmed off if it's too tall for a journal for the future. I don't like straight edges on stuff, so. And I don't want to sew over this. It's going to go on top. Okay, so right now, this one, because I'm going to do this, so I'm going to ink the edges on some things. I'm going to layer them up. You kind of get the gist. I don't know that I need to sit and go through all of them and how I do it. So maybe what I will do is I will do inking, gluing, take them to the sewing machine, and then come back for finishing touches. I think that's what I'm going to do. So yes, that is what I will do, because this is going to take a hot minute to do, because there is a bunch of these, because I might have overdone it again like usual. But I like having belly bands ahead of time anyway, so this is perfect. So I'm going to rock this out. All right, so these are all stitched. I did some background on this one, and then I sewed this down to make it a pocket since it's going to go sideways. I thought that would be really cool. And then the rest of these, I just threw some stitching on here and there like that after I glued them down. So we have a pile of these, friends, but this one I think turned out pretty cool with the wing. And got lace on here. Here's the other one with the wing. I kind of trimmed it down and then did that. So I like that one a lot. And then this friend. So that's amazing. All right, so now let's use our butterfly labels on a few of these friends and finishing them up. I don't think I'm going to do the whole stack because I like to kind of have the backgrounds ready to go, so then I can pull them to use on other journals. And I am not sure how well these are going to look on everything. So these are the clear ones. So let's see if there's a spot in here. And they can be trimmed a little bit here and there too, and cut down to see what will work best. I feel like part of one of these would be good. Okay, that looks really neat, actually. It needs a little bit of something lighter behind it, but I think that looks, well, maybe. You know what? I actually kind of just like it like that. And it adds just an interesting little spot. And the fun thing with something like this is that later on, if you put it into a book, you could always add another little thing. So this one is done. I'm gonna call this one done. All right, what do we got next? We have, I'm just gonna go through the pile and see if there's a few, because I want to use these friends here. So this one says lace on it, which I think is kind of cool. And then let's find one of our ravens. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. This is a little narrow. Let's see if there's a bigger one. Let's do, this one is a little skinny. And even these could be inked on the edges too if we wanted to, but I think this looks really cute. Actually, I might tuck that under there. Let's ink this just a little. Bring down that white just a little bit. I like it. Let's do it. Then maybe there is another little friend we could add on here. Okay, that's cute. That's fun. I dig it. Here's our wing, one of our wings. I don't know that this really needs anything, so I'm going to leave this for now. And let's see. Ooh, I like that. And then maybe we have some label pieces that we can use. I don't think we're going to find a spot for him today, which is fine. We've got other things to do, and we're still using up our scraps and everything. All right, friends. So we made today belly bands. We made labels. We didn't make butterfly labels, but we did make raven and bat ones because that goes with our theme. So we did tons of stuff. So I have more stickers to use on other things, these wonderful labels that I made, as well as these friends. And then we made a ton of belly bands. I don't even know how many we have here. I did not count them. So we have some pre-made stuff for later on. Look at this huge stack. This is amazing. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have any questions. And enjoy. I hope you're enjoying dephemerember. Check out the video tomorrow. We're going to do, what is our prompt for tomorrow? Tomorrow is shaker tag and moon dust, as well as Tiny Tuesday. All right, guys, you have a fantastic day. Don't forget, art with your heart. Bye.